Not only is Bitcoin the first cryptocurrency, but it's also the best known of the more than 5,000 cryptocurrencies in existence today. Financial media eagerly covers each new dramatic high and stomach-churning decline, making Bitcoin an inescapable part of the landscape. While the wild volatility might produce great headlines, it hardly makes Bitcoin the best choice for novice investors or people looking for a stable store of value. Understanding the ins and outs can be tricky. Let's take a closer look at how Bitcoin works. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency that you can buy, sell and exchange directly, without an intermediary like a bank. Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, originally described the need for an electronic payment system based on cryptographic proof instead of trust. Each and every Bitcoin transaction that's ever been made exists on a public ledger accessible to everyone, making transactions hard to reverse and difficult to fake. That's by design. Core to their decentralized nature, Bitcoins aren't backed by the government or any issuing institution, and there's nothing to guarantee their value besides the proof baked in the heart of the system. The reason why it's worth money is simply because we, as people, decided it has value, same as gold, says Anton Mozgovoy, co-founder and CEO of digital financial service company Holyheld. Since its public launch in 2009, Bitcoin has risen dramatically in value. Although it once sold for under $150 per coin, as of October 26, 2021, one Bitcoin now sells for more than $62,000. Because its supply is limited to 21 million coins, many expect its price to only keep rising as time goes on, especially as more large, institutional investors begin treating it as a sort of digital gold to hedge against market volatility and inflation. Bitcoin. Blockchain Audi Virilin Digitalmus Bier Digital Kayat Uzerin Kuraliter. Adindan da Amlasilakaji Gibi. Block Zinkari. Tari ve Sat. Toplam Diger. Alisi ve Satichi Dahil Almak Uzir her Islam Hakinda Bilgi Isran Block Audi Virilin Barimlerden ve her Dijasim Isen Benzerses Bir Tanimlaichi Kodan Olushan Baglantali Bir Veri Govdesider. Garisalar. Digital Bir Block Zinkari Olastorak Chronologic Sarila Dizalir. Bir Crypto Para ATM Agi Olan Pelikornan Denismani Stacy Harris. Block Zinkarin Bir Block Aklendajinde. Onu Gormek Istine Herkus Terrifind and Arisalebelir Hail Galir Ve Crypto Para Barimi Islamlarinan Halka Asik Bir Defteri Gibi Davranir, Dior. Blockchain Merkezi de Gilder. Yani Herhangi Bir Kurulus Terrifind and Control Edelmes. Africa Crypto Para Borsasi Quidixin Seozu Ve Kuruku Ortagi Buchi Akoro. Herkusan Uzarind Kalisabelsegi Bir Google Dokamani Gibi, Dior. Kimsnan Sahibi de Gil. Ansik Baglanti C. Olan Herkus Ona Katkida Belunabalir. Ve Farkli Kisiler Onu Gunseladiksha, Kapianis da Gunselanir. Herhangi Barinan Block Zinkarini Duzen Libel Segi Fikri Kulaga Riskli Gelsida, Aslinda Bitcoini Guvenilir Ve Guvenli Yapan Se Buder. Bitcoin Block Zinkarin Bir Islam Blogunin Aklenmesi Isen. Tum Bitcoin Sahipalrinan Kogunlugu Terrifinden Dogrulan Maliter Ve Kulinisalaran Kuzdanlarini Ve Islamlarini Tanamak Isen Kulinilan Benzerses Kodlaran Dogru Sifreleme Modelin Umasi Garakir. Bu Kodler Uzan. Rastgal Sayalarder Ve Haleli Olarak Uretilmasini Ananalmaz Darasid Zorlasterier. Aslinda. Crypto Aquariumdan Brian Lati Igor. Bitcoin Kuzdaninas Anatar Kodunu Taman Eden Bir Dolandarichi. Barisanan Powerball Piangosunu Arka Arkaya Dokus Kez Kazanmasila Kabaka Ini Sanza Sahip. Her Islam Isan Garakli Olan Bu Istatistiksal Rasjalalik Block Zinkari Dogrulama Kodlari. Herkusan Sot Bitcoin Ilamlari Yapma Riskini Buyak Olkud Azaltir. Bitcoin mining is the process of adding new transactions to the Bitcoin blockchain. It's a tough job. People who choose to mine Bitcoin use a process called proof of work, deploying computers in a race to solve mathematical puzzles that verify transactions. To entice miners to keep racing to solve the puzzles and support the overall system, the Bitcoin code rewards miners with new Bitcoins. This is how new coins are created, and new transactions are added to the blockchain, says Akoro. In the early days, it was possible for the average person to mine Bitcoin, but that's no longer the case. The Bitcoin code is written to make solving its puzzles more and more challenging over time, requiring more and more computing resources. Today, Bitcoin mining requires powerful computers and access to massive amounts of cheap electricity to be successful. Bitcoin mining also pays less than it used to, making it even harder to recoup the rising computational and electrical costs. In 2009, when this technology first came out, every time you got a stamp, you got a much larger amount of Bitcoin than you do today, says Flory Marquez, co-founder of BlockFi, a crypto wealth management company. There are more and more transactions now, so the amount you get paid for each stamp is less and less. By 2140, it's estimated all Bitcoins will have entered circulation, meaning mining will release no new coins, and miners may instead have to rely on transaction fees. In the US, people generally use Bitcoin as an alternative investment, helping diversify a portfolio apart from stocks and bonds. You can also use Bitcoin to make purchases, but the number of vendors that accept the cryptocurrency is still limited. Big companies that accept Bitcoin include Microsoft, PayPal, and Whole Foods, to name only a few. You may also find that some small local retailers or certain websites take Bitcoin, but you'll have to do some digging. You can also use a service that allows you to connect a debit card to your crypto account, meaning you can use Bitcoin the same way you'd use a credit card. This also generally involves a financial provider instantly converting your Bitcoin into dollars. Crypto.com and CoinZoom are two services that have regulation in the US, Montgomery says. In other countries, particularly those with less stable currencies, people sometimes use cryptocurrency instead of their own currency. Bitcoin provides an opportunity for people to store value without relying on a currency that is backed by a government, Montgomery says. It gives people an option to hedge for a worst-case scenario. You're already seeing people in countries like Venezuela, Argentina, Zimbabwe, in countries heavily in debt. Bitcoin is getting tremendous traction. That said, when you use Bitcoin as a currency, not an investment, in the US, you do have to be aware of certain tax implications. Most people buy Bitcoin via cryptocurrency exchanges. Exchanges allow you to buy, sell and hold cryptocurrency, and setting up an account is similar to opening a brokerage account. You'll need to verify your identity and provide some kind of funding source, such as a bank account or debit card. Major exchanges include Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini. You can also buy Bitcoin at an online broker like Robinhood. Regardless of where you buy your Bitcoin, you'll need a Bitcoin wallet in which to store it. This might be what's called a hot wallet or a cold wallet. A hot wallet, also called an online wallet, is stored by an exchange or a provider in the cloud. Providers of online wallets include Exodus, Electrum, and Mycelium. A cold wallet, or mobile wallet, is an offline device used to store Bitcoin and is not connected to the internet. Some mobile wallet options include Trezor and Ledger. A few important notes about buying Bitcoin. While Bitcoin is expensive, you can buy fractional Bitcoin from some vendors. You'll also need to look out for fees, which are generally small percentages of your crypto transaction amount but can really add up on small dollar purchases. Finally, be aware that Bitcoin purchases are not instantaneous like many other equity purchases seemingly are. Because Bitcoin transactions must be verified by miners, it may take you at least 10 to 20 minutes to see your Bitcoin purchase in your account. Like a stock, you can buy and hold Bitcoin as an investment. You can even now do so in special retirement accounts called Bitcoin IRAs. No matter where you choose to hold your Bitcoin, people's philosophies on how to invest it vary. Some buy and hold long term, some buy and aim to sell after a price rally, and others bet on its price decreasing. Bitcoin's price over time has experienced big price swings, going as low as $5,165 and as high as $28,990 in 2020 alone. I think in some places, people might be using Bitcoin to pay for things, but the truth is that it's an asset that looks like it's going to be increasing in value relatively quickly for some time, Marquez says. So why would you sell something that's going to be worth so much more next year than it is today? The majority of people that hold it are long-term investors. Consumers can also invest in a Bitcoin mutual fund by buying shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, though it's currently only open to accredited investors who make at least $200,000 or have net worths of at least $1 million. This means the majority of Americans aren't able to buy into it. In Canada, however, diversified Bitcoin investing is becoming more accessible. In February 2021, Purpose Bitcoin ETF, BTCC, started trading as the world's first Bitcoin ETF, and the Evolve Bitcoin ETF, EBIT, has also been approved by the Ontario Securities Commission. American investors looking for Bitcoin or Bitcoin-like exposure may consider blockchain ETFs that invest in the technology underlying cryptocurrencies. An important note, though. While crypto-based funds may add diversification to crypto holdings and decrease risk slightly, they do still carry substantially more risk and charge much higher fees than broad-based index funds with histories of steady returns. Investors looking to grow wealth steadily may opt for index-based mutual and exchange-traded funds, ETFs. In general, many financial experts support their clients' desire to buy cryptocurrency, but they don't recommend it unless clients express interest. The biggest concern for us is if someone wants to invest in crypto and the investment they choose doesn't do well, and then all of a sudden they can't send their kids to college, says Ian Harvey, a certified financial planner, CFP, in New York City. Then it wasn't worth the risk. The speculative nature of cryptocurrency leads some planners to recommend it for clients' side investments. Some call it a Vegas account, says Scott Hamill, a CFP in Dallas. Let's keep this away from our real long-term perspective. Make sure it doesn't become too large a portion of your portfolio. In a very real sense, Bitcoin is like a single stock, and advisors wouldn't recommend putting a sizable part of your portfolio into any one company. At most, planners suggest putting no more than 1% to 10% into Bitcoin if you're passionate about it. If it was one stock, you would never allocate any significant portion of your portfolio to it, Hamill says.